Okay. First of all, this is still a very terrible film. Right, like I say right now. And first of all, yes, and welcome back to another review for Halloween month, and we're back to I'm reviewing another film from one of the worst directors. I'm sure this name is infamous probably because of all the bad films he's made. Boll. Remember that name, Boll. I rented on Alone in the Dark a while back. This guy is known for directing a lot of terrible movies. From Alone in the Dark, Blood Rain, In the Name of the King. Yeah, somehow Blood Rain and In the Name of the King, they were both big flops, but yet it was Alone in the Dark, but somehow those got sequels no matter what. Especially In the Name of the King, that got like 3-4 sequels. Well, Blood Rain got like 2 more sequels, and Alone in the Dark got another sequel. Jeez. Even though all those films were critically panned by critics, torn apart, failed big time at the box office, and yet somehow those got sequels. I don't get it. Boll, just... Especially the guy is always on his hind horse. I mean, yeah, a guy has a right to defend his own films. Yeah, sure. But the thing is, he thinks, but at the same time, he thinks is on his high horse that his films are so golden, and people are just bullshit complainers to him. The guy needs to get off his hind horse. Since I remember a while back, he was on a tangent about Rampage from 2018, based on the video game that starring Dwayne Johnson and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He was complaining about because he also made a film called Rampage that was completely different from the movie what we got in 2018. I was like, dude, I hate saying that word, dude, but I mean, he has no room to talk because that film existed long before because the game existed a lot longer before you came along, so you have no right to talk about that. So yeah, the guy is very arrogant. But getting on the task at hand, though, here's me reviewing another one of his. Okay, I would probably say this is better because, I watched this a lot of time because me and my brother love the video games. I love the video game. We played a lot as we were little. Still play it. It's still fun. We watched it a couple of times. And Taylor loves this movie. He does love this movie. As far as Boll's films go, yeah, I could probably say this is better than Blood Rain or Alone in the Dark or In the Name of the King, though, but it's not saying much. It's still a bad movie. I'm not giving Boll a pass because I think one of his films is better than some of the others. But yeah, and this one I'll be reviewing is of House of the Dead. Yeah, so House of the Dead, which is based on the Sega video game, which I love. I love the House of the Dead games. I love the first one. I like the second one. Third film I love. The third video game, House of the Dead 3, I love. I love House of the Dead 3. House of the Dead 4 was fine, but I think the third one was better. That's just me though. But the movie House of the Dead from 2003 is one of the ones that I think it was like the only Boll film that slightly surpassed the budget. This one was made with $12 million, and then worldwide made a total of $13 million. So, wow, he gets a brownie point for one of his movies just barely passed. But at the same time, this film was critically panned by critics, and has a 3% Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, I can see why. Although Boll says it's supposed to be a prequel because you have the character Tyron. In the first video game, the bad guy who created the magician, Tyron. Well, you find out the name Tyron at the end of the movie, though. You don't hear that name until the end of the movie. But House of the Dead, it's supposed to be a prequel, though. As far as cast goes, okay. The guy Jonathan Cherry, He was in Final Destination 2. His character, I forget his name. His character was but he was more of the stoner, and then he gets cut to like the pieces by these wires. He gets sliced to pieces. He was in Final Destination 2. I did not mind him. So these other characters, actors I don't know about. But you have Clint Howard in this, director Ron Howard's younger brother, Clint Howard. Ellie Cornell, who played Rachel from Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, and for Halloween 5. Fuck Halloween 5, but it was stupid they killed her off early anyway. But I like Ellie Cornell. Okay, it's nice that she's in this. And Jurgen Prochnow. Jurgen Prochnow, he plays the character named Captain Kirk, which, yeah, they said they make a Star Trek reference in this. Oh, Captain Kirk, do you know Spock? But Jurgen Prochnow, he was the bad guy in he was the bad guy Maxwell Dent in Beverly Hills Cop 2. I love Beverly Hills Cop 2. He was also the bad guy, the Russian general in Air Force One. And he was also Sutter Kane in John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness. So I like Jurgen Prochnow. He's the captain in this, where some kids are going to this party on this island, but they get there a little bit late, so they hire Jurgen Prochnow to take his boat to get him there. And at this rave on this island, which is funny that in this rave that this party is sponsored by, you see the banner, you see Sega. Yeah, because, the games are based on Sega. So yeah, throw that in there. So that's what the party's like sponsored by, I think it was, by Sega. So they get there, they can find nobody except for some of the survivors. They go at this house, which I'm sorry, with the little shed, and they find that the island. It's not really fully a house. Well, we can say it is a house, but not the big mansion house you find in the first video game. That's a house. I don't really think that's a house. It's more. I call it. It looks more like a shack. But they find more survivors, like Jonathan Terry's character named Rudy, the other guy, and then this other girl, this Asian girl who dresses an American flag. Her name, goes by the name of Liberty. One of the friends gets turned, snaps the guy's neck, and Ellie Cornell's there. I mean, there's a point where this is based on the video game. A lot of times we get cuts to actual scenes from the 3 video games of the House of Dead video games, like especially in the third act, where we get that big all the characters shooting all kinds of zombies, and you see clips, bits from the video games. So, yeah, I know. Again, it's based on video games. To show us this, it just makes me want to play the video games instead. Like I said, this movie is not a good movie. It's still a terrible movie. But hey, pauses? I like Ellie Cornell. I like Jurgen Prochnow, which they were more the leads. But score for the most part is forgettable, except for that. Except my brother really loves that song that was playing during the whole zombie shooting. Fury. I am Fury, bringing all the vengeance to the house of the dead. That's that song. I'd say it's catchy though. My brother loves that song. It's also when that almost make me choke. There's a guy by the name of Greg who goes with Ellie Cornell, but when he gets surrounded by zombies, when he dies, it's the same way, like if someone dies, because we get this camera work where it circles, it does a 360 around each character. Like whether they're shooting or when someone dies, like with the character Greg, when he dies, it shows him, in a stance, and the camera spins around. It's like it's a video game character, and then it cuts to fade red, hence that character's dead. And later, same thing with Liberty as well. Or during the whole shooting sequence when each character gets like a spin around, each character. Oh, it was kind of funny though with some of the characters like one with Ellie Cornell and the two other girls. Like a lot of times, like there's either who's the girl that the guy Jonathan Charity likes, who's like this actor or something. Like she's holding a shotgun, but when it cuts to her, when the camera worker is spinning, she's holding a handgun. Or Ellie Cornell, when she has a rifle, when it cuts her spinning, like the camera work again, 360 camera angle, she's holding a handgun. Or with the other girl, I forget what that character's name, but let's say characters are forgettable though. Like she has holding two guns, and next time it cuts with the 360 camera angle, she's holding a shotgun. So you get a little bit inconsistent right there. But yeah, the whole thing. Okay, you get some decent practical stuff like makeups and a little bit of blood stuff as well, though. But does it excuse the badness of the movie? No, it doesn't. I mean, the whole thing of the song. You have the song like Fury playing, and then they try to find another way in. But Liberty gets killed, like I said, when she dies. Same with the character Greg. Even with the other camera angles, you got 360 camera angle, and then it cuts the face to red, which hence they died. Then next, Ellie Cornell gets her legs chopped off, which you think you assume she's dead because all the blood that she's bleeding out from. But yet somehow she's in the sequel. In the beginning of House of the Dead 2, where she's in a wheelchair but she has no legs. Because so somehow she survived that. Great. She survived all that massive blood loss from both her legs. And then what else? They find a secret lab. It once belonged to this guy who was an escaped convict who planned to live forever. So they find this in the microscope. There's some bacteria that can regenerate. So they think this is where it all happened. Jurgen Prochnow gets injured. Like he hears his first mate Salish, played by Clint Howard. Hears his whistle. He sees him. He's a zombie. Shoots him, then blows himself up. And then there's what was the character's name? Because he had Alice, he had Rudy, Simon. They're the remaining ones, and the other girl, was it Karma? Yeah, Karma. Like she makes a completely stupid mistake where all these zombies, there's this dead zombies laying around, right, not moving. And they see a glass container contains like a sort of like a leech of some kind. It's in the tank, so it's not gonna jump out and surprise you, or whatever. But that character comes, stupidly shoots the glass, and the liquid gets the blood. I guess in there was blood, and it just resurrects the ones that are on the floor. So yeah, great job, bitch. You know, it's perfectly in the tank. You didn't need to shoot it though, but yet you decided to shoot it anyway, and yet hence that liquid, the blood, whatever, brings back the ones that are on the floor back to life. Great. Let's see, this film is all make me fall asleep. I mean, the first half of this film was boring, but I guess you get some guilty pleasures when the whole gang groups together and go into the house and shooting all kinds of zombies. I guess you can get some fun out of that, especially with the song Fury. And so they go down. Simon gets killed because he does a sacrifice of blowing himself up by shooting a powder keg. Then the character Karma dies. They're going through this tunnel where she thinks she's going to hold him up, but she dies instantly. Then they get taken by that prisoner. I forget that guy's name. And but they get into a fight outside. The girl also gets stabbed. But then Rudy cuts off his head, but it's still moving, choking him out. And then the girl steps on his head, and the body dies. And that's where we have our two leads from the video game, the first House of the Dead, G and Rogan come in. And that's when we find out that Rudy, Jonathan Cherry's character, he's Curian. His last name was Curian. So he's the guy. I'm like, also surprised this guy be the mad scientist who created the magician. You know, I mean, when it ends with him narrating with the character what he did to his ex Alice because she got badly injured. So she guess he performed the same thing on her. It's like whoever she is or what she is. So. I know my brother might think I'm insane for doing this, for ranting us. He goes, "Oh, you like this movie?" No, not fully. I don't. I know it's still a very terrible film. Why? Because they think I like the song. I may like the song and the whole zombie killing sequence with the song is playing. Is that enough for me to like the movie? No. And I like Jurgen Prochnow. I like Ellie Cornell. But rather wish that they were the leads. And so you get some decent makeup and practical stuff too, but. Sorry. But it's still so terrible. Like I said, a lot of times it's boring. The other characters basically I don't care about. Or there's to get a weird, a really weird scene where, okay, I forgot to mention, when Liberty dies, like, Jonathan Cherry as Rudy, like, he sees Liberty getting attacked and getting killed, and then it cuts to him, like, flash forwarding to all the things that he's seen until it cuts to Liberty. I'm like, why is he having all these quick flashbacks to that present point? That goes on, like, for a full minute, I think. Why? But, House of the Dead. Still a terrible movie. Yeah, I'll probably say Alone in the Dark is worse because bad CGI, and I like Christian Slater, but a lot of stuff I thought was pretty stupid as well. In the Name of the King was bad. Blood Rain was bad. But yeah, all these other movies, they get sequels. Yeah, with a guy who just complains and complains. I mean, there's other stuff he did, a couple of comedies, but I don't think they were not that good either. Boll. He thinks he's a masterpiece of a director. He's not. Maybe you should start doing films that are based on video games. I don't know. House of the Dead, just... I really stick to playing the video games because I love the video games. I love 1, 2, and 3. 4 is still fine as well. But I'm not sure. It's a rant. It's not a full blown rant. It's just a small rant. Because like I said, Alone in the Dark was much more bigger problems than this film did. But House of the Dead, like I said, I just rather stick to playing the first game. Like I said, yeah, I get it, where it's called House of the Dead. That's why you have to throw in all these little clips from the game. Is it unnecessary or pointless, or did you like having those in there? You decide on that. But for the characters, except for Jonathan Cherry, Jurgen Prochnow, or Ellie Cornell, I liked. But the rest of the characters are just completely forgettable, and most of the movie for the first half was boring. But until they get all the horror zombies, so I was shooting at them. But like I said, I've seen a whole lot worse. It was like Boll. He said he's not a good director still. Some of his films like that are still pointless. Well, or no, not a lot of that. Very terrible movies. But yeah, so this is my little rant on House of the Dead. If Boll's still doing films, he should just retire. I think. I don't think it's done. I don't think it's done in films since. So I guess that's good. I guess he is doing one of the worst directors. I said, he needs to get off his high horse and just saying, stop treating like people. People have the right to their own opinions, though. But it's like, oh no, you were still wrong. But anyway, House of the Dead. I have more I could say. Just there's a point where I think this where a reboot would be much better. If you put that song in there and do a reboot, probably be better. Make it more like the game. Take place in a big mansion with the two leads playing G and Rogan. And to put that song that was taken from that movie and put it in this movie, I thought it would be better. So, but who cares? But well, hey, we got another new Resident Evil film. Yay! So we got enough of those movies in there. But yeah, this is my thoughts on House of the Dead. So yeah, it's a bit small rant, not a huge rant, but it's like Uwe Boll. It's still a bad film, and Uwe Boll still sucks. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more for Halloween month later.